Hello and welcome to Ryno's Ravens Review. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, what do you say about that game last night by the Ravens? Well, I guess you gotta say, wow, where have I heard that story before? Ravens choke late. Key turnovers, dumbass play calls, dumbass play execution in the final 10 minutes of a game cost them to blow a double-digit lead. Feel like I've heard it at least 10 times in the past 3 years, which is pretty shitty. I don't know why some of these coaches or players are getting extended. You keep making the same mistakes. It's one thing to make a mistake, but it's another thing to keep making the same mistakes. But yet, we're going to extend Harbaugh, and we're going to extend whoever else on the coaching side, and we're going to give Jackson more money, and we're going to give Henry more money. But they keep choking when it matters the most. However, that's all right. I mean, you counter with the argument, well, who else are we going to get as our head coach? Who the hell cares? Let's stop choking late in the game. You got to find that closer. You ain't got no closer on this team. Even with Derrick Henry, who some might say is a Hall of Fame running back, you ain't got no closer on this team. What the hell? Okay. However, as you can see, I'm on BaltimoreRavens.com. Let's go to this game center page. Let's go over some of the stats, or the numbers, really. Baltimore Ravens 40, Buffalo Bills 41. Yeah, lost by 1 point. Missed it by that much. Could say that for Tyler Loop. Good job, dickhead. Way to prove yourself in your first game. Doinking an extra point, penalty on a kickoff. Yeah, that's not going to help. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why the Ravens lost, because Tyler Loop makes that extra point, bam, it would have been tied with that field goal by Prater. Now, would the Bills have tried to push it in the end zone? Yeah, probably. Would they have gotten it? Jackson had an okay game throwing. I mean, it does say 14 of 19 completion, which is fairly good. I just feel like he missed a few throws, again, late in the game. Flowers, bouncing one into Flowers, bouncing one into Hill. Yeah. Again, late in the game, when it really matters, when you really want to keep momentum and you want to keep moving the ball and keep scoring points. Yeah, that's not the time to screw up, but whatever. And it's somewhat of a shame that Derrick Henry had to be one of the reasons we lost as well, when he had 18 rushes for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. And yet that one time where it's like, hey man, hang on to the ball, because Todd Monken's like, I want an extra offensive lineman in there. What? Because we want to run the ball. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe you can kind of say that, that makes perfect sense. You want to run the ball? Bring in an extra offensive lineman. The problem with that is the defense knows this, so they're going to bring more of their big fat guys in there. Is that easier or harder to run the ball? I would say it's probably harder. At least in between the tackles, it would be harder. If it was an outside run, maybe it would have been a little easier. Whatever. I mean, you really telegraph what you're going to do there. You want to at least put the thought into the defensive mind that you might throw the ball. Because at the same time, why wouldn't you throw the ball? Why? Why are you just like, we're just going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball, first, second down. If we don't get anywhere, then we're going to throw the ball. Why? You know you can run just as much time off the clock. If you're getting first downs all the way down the field, you realize that, right? In order to run more time off the clock, you have to get the first downs. You can't just run the ball and think, we're just going to get the first downs. Probably because they're going to sell out for the run. Because they know you really want to run the ball. So maybe that's the time to use some play action. Or maybe draw up one of those boot plays and get Jackson faking one way with everybody going that way, and then, bam, coming out the backfield on the other way. Seems like a great idea. Maybe it's because the Buffalo Bills ran it to perfection. But yet, you, with your faster quarterback, did not run it at all. Okay. However, Jackson had a nice day running. 6 rushes for 70 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, I mean, they put up good numbers. Flowers had some rushing yards, which I wrote down here in my notes here, and I'm not even starting my notes where I want to start with my notes. Let me get to my notes. What I wrote is one of the headlines is another blown lead late by the offense. Okay, fine. Everybody's going to say, well, it's the defense giving up the points. Sure. But you can't put the defense on the field for 3... I'm sorry. Okay. The offense was on the field for 3 minutes, 24 seconds. I actually wrote this down wrong. You can't put the defense on the field that much. In the final 10 minutes of that fourth quarter, the offense only held on the ball for 3 minutes and 24 seconds. So that's 6 minutes and 36 seconds. You can't put the defense on the field that much and just expect that in 2025, in the National Football League, against a perennial division winner, against a perennial MVP candidate as a quarterback, that the defense is just going to come through. Why would you think that? Again, it's 2025 in the National Football League, not 2000. You can't put your defense on the field for 2/3 of the fourth quarter and be like, oh, the defense is just going to win it for us. Why would you think that? How much money are you paying all your defenders? How much money are you paying your offensive people? Why is that? Because it's the way the NFL has gone. More offense, more points, more money. That's what that means, apparently. Which is fine. Organizations like the Ravens need to get with the program. You can't put your defense on the field like that. Maybe stop punting so much in the fourth quarter. Maybe stop giving up the ball so much in the fourth quarter. That's why you lost. You didn't lose because the defense didn't make a stop. They made a few stops in the game. Again, as I said, MVP quarterback, perennial division winner. You're not going to keep that offense down much. You're just not. There's a reason why they get into the playoffs. What is this stat that I saw, I think, for McDermott, Sean McDermott, the Bills head coach, for 8 years. 7 of those 8 years in the playoffs. There's a reason for that. Josh Allen won his first MVP last year. And you know what? If Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson played in the NFC and not the AFC, Josh Allen would have had more than one MVP. Stop putting your defense on the field too much. Keep your offense out there and put the damn foot on their damn throats instead of just pulling back. We're just going to run the ball with 6 offensive linemen. We're never going to throw the ball. We're not going to matriculate the ball down the field at all. Mention Luke missing the extra point kickoff penalty. Not bode well, but hopefully, okay, kid's young. This is not like John Harbaugh and Todd Monken and Lamar Jackson and how they continually choke in fourth quarter of games. This is Tyler Loop's first game. First game as an NFL football player. First game. I can cut him some slack. John Harbaugh, Todd Monken, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. No, I can't cut them no slack because they've been there and they've done this how many times? Tyler Loop has done it for one game. Okay? Yes, he did miss an extra point. Yes, he did. He missed the... What the hell happened on that kickoff? He kicked it and it landed at what? The 35-yard line? There's a zone where the kickoffs have to land. It's between the 20 and the 1-yard line. Maybe it landed at the 25. But it definitely landed outside the zone, which is weird. but I guess you're trying to have a wonky ball flying through the air, makes it a little harder to catch. You're trying not to kick it in the end zone because you don't want to give them the ball at the 30. Well, instead, you gave them the ball at the 40. But whatever. Mistakes happen. What the real problem is making the same mistakes. Again, John Harbaugh, Todd Monken, Lamar Jackson, they keep making the same dumb-ass mistakes. Tyler Loop, sure, made a mistake, but it only happened once. We'll see going forward. Hopefully, he can use it as a learning experience. Henry's huge night, and as I did mention it already, lots of rushing yards. Seventh time over 100 or whatever it was. Oh, rushing touchdown. Oh, I'm actually watching part of the replay now. Moving up the list on rushing touchdown leaders past Jim Brown last night. Jim Brown had 106. Derrick Henry now has 107. Or maybe at this point he has 100. Maybe he has 108. Yeah. Derrick Henry actually has 108. Passing Jim Brown. You dropped the ball late in the first quarter. It's overshadowed. Who cares how many yards and how many touchdowns you got? You contributed to why your team lost. A heavy contributor. Yeah, there were other guys. Todd Monken's shit-ass play calling. Lamar Jackson's shit-ass execution. Some of the other stupid shit they're doing. Tyler Wallace not lining up right. Zay Flowers trying to run up field when he's going in motion. Dumbass plays by your offense, who you spend a lot of money on because that's the way the NFL goes. Sure, Kyle Hamilton gets contract extensions. Well, the defense made a few plays, okay? And again, this kind of MVP quarterback, that kind of team that continually wins their division, defense is not going to make too many plays. They're just not. Because, again, that's how the NFL is going. Speaking of the defense, what am I talking about with their stops? And actually, I want to go to NFL.com. This is the game recap page. They made a few changes that I don't really like, but still, overall, I think it's a little... it's just better because they don't talk about the defense on the Ravens page. That'll tell you something right there. There's no defensive stats. There's still no defensive stats here. Whatever. However you like. Yeah, see, it's weird. It just automatically goes to scoring drives. And then you got to click on all drives and do a drop-down menu every time, which I don't really like. And then I can't have the drives open over here and pull up the stats over here on the right. I don't know why they changed that. Why did you have to change? You could have just left it the way it was. You actually had to pay money for this. Right? You paid your employees to do this. Why would I care that much about the standings? Why would I care that much about a previous match? I don't give a shit. I'd rather have the stats over here like it was for the past several years, and then I can put the drives over here. This is dumb. It's dumb. All right, what do I have? A few key stops. Again, just not enough when you're facing that caliber of a team. You had BK's sack in I'm listening to fourth. I'm going in like reverse order now. Why am I starting in the fourth quarter? Where was it? Oh man, it had to be on this punt play right here, right? You have Manabike getting a sack right here, forcing a Bills punt. That's something in the fourth quarter. You prevented your opponent from scoring on a drive in the fourth quarter. That's a good thing. That's a key stop. Hamilton's pass breakup in the third, and then a forced fumble in the second. So we're going into the third here. Had to be on this punt here, right? Allen scrambling out to his right, heaving it deep for, was it Shakir? Was the play that Hamilton kind of got injured. He kind of got his fingers caught up in there when he went to make the tackle. Yeah, maybe. And I know broadcast Chris Collinsworth, it should be a penalty for pass interference because he's a big wide receiver guy. So, yeah. Excuse me. But it was bang, bang. Timed it just right, broke up the pass. It's key. There in the second quarter, yeah, it's so weird. Changing the, I don't really like that. It was either on a punt or the field goal. I don't remember who. Yes, it was here on this punt. The pass over to Dalton Kincaid, maybe it was relatively short. It wasn't a long pass. 3rd and 6. But if you don't get there and put the guy on the ground or put the ball on the ground, you could run for 6 yards. He's a tight end. He's a big dude. Pop the ball out, and then everybody's scrambling for the football. He almost got it. But it did. I think it did roll out of bounds before any Raven was able to get on top of it, which is disappointing. But at the same time, it's one of the benefits. And that's why sometimes you run plays near the sideline. Because when balls come out and they go out of bounds, you technically didn't lose the fumble. Holding Bills to a field goal with 3 minutes into the half. Yeah, this is another key stop that I noticed. Again, they're only field goals. It's an MVP quarterback. Even with this field goal, it was 17-10. The field goal makes it 17-10. You're still winning. Bills got the ball first to start the game anyway. And here comes, who was it? It does say Wouzier and Starks on the tackle, but really it was Buchanan who kind of stepped up and forced, who was it, Shakir again? Shakir on a drag play going from right sideline to the left sideline, forcing Shakir to keep going to the left. Teddy Buchanan stepping up from his zone, forcing Shakir to try to get around the corner, further going towards the sideline, allowing Starks and Awuzie to come up and help in the stop. That's a big stop. You hold them to a field goal. Meanwhile, you just got a first touchdown. You got 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. 2 touchdowns and a field goal in the second quarter, and you gave up 2 field goals. Yeah, that's a win. You won that quarter. It was a great win. You blew out that quarter. It's one good thing about the way they're setting this up here on NFL.com. 17-6 in the second quarter. Yeah, you blew them out. Yeah, with 3 minutes left in the half. That's a different discussion there. Let's talk about the second drive by the Bills here. I'm talking about another stop here. Yeah, that was the run. It was 3rd and 1. You got to run up the middle-ish. You got Travis Jones here busting through, getting off the block, getting the ball carried down, forcing a punt. That's how you change the game, especially when your opponent got the ball first. They're putting points up first, and you're following suit. Preventing them from putting points on the board is key. They did it a few times. But the offense really unable to help their defensive brethren. The defense seemed to help the offense multiple times. You give them multiple opportunities to take the lead and milk clock and turn the game into a blowout. But what did the offense do? Nothing. If anything, almost scored too quickly, put the defense on the field way too much. But at the same time, you'll take that if you're getting touchdowns. Because here, as I kind of mentioned here, this tackle here that came from Awuzie and Starks that was aided by Buchanan, there are 3 minutes left on the clock here. 3 minutes left in the half. And you force your opponent to a field goal. And all you can do as an offense is gain 23 yards. Yeah. Piss poor by the offense. Oh, I'll mention one last thing about the defense before I move on to what I really think about the offense. The Ravens defense really didn't put that much pressure on Josh Allen. I don't know if that was necessarily by design, because it seems like whenever they did get pressure on him, he rolled out of the pocket and just escaping the pressure. Nobody was able to chase him down. The one sack that they got is they collapsed the pocket around Allen as he's trying to throw the ball, and it was almost more of a coverage sack. They didn't... Excuse me. The Ravens did blitz a few times. I feel like most of the time they went with a 4-man rush. And to a certain extent, that philosophy, I think, would have worked if that 5th man would have been a spy. Like, and you've had so much trouble in the pass defense department that you almost want Starks and Hamilton to stay back more just to help out in the pass. Though, where is Marlon Humphrey to be the spy on Josh Allen? Or at least Roquan Smith to at least slow the man up, instead of letting him run out of the pocket so much and extend the play. Because that killed you, allowing Josh Allen to get out of the pocket and extend plays. You were able to break up passes a few times. You had a few missed interception opportunities by Starks and Wouzier. Diving for balls, and it's just, they're not wide receivers. They're not getting their hands completely under the ball. Whatever. Break up by Hamilton. But again, and it seems like when they did blitz, they blitzed a lot. I mean, one of the later plays where Coleman gets one way down the field, you blitzed 7. 7? Why are you sending 7? Why? That's too many. That's too many because that only leaves 4 in coverage. The hell was that? Oh no, was it Cook? It was Cook out of the backfield. And that was the one where Wiggins made this goal line saving tackle like the 2-yard line. So I don't know what the hell play call that was. It just seems stupid. Because again, your man breaks contain and you can't chase him down. However, on to the offense and all the mistakes that they're making. Way too many mistakes made by the offense. Canceled out all the good they did. All the yards Henry put up. All the yards Jackson put up. All the touchdowns. Who the hell cares at this point when you made the mistakes that they made? Terrible ball security. Not just with Henry. Where is this one here? Justice Hill. Off left tackle. Not protecting the ball at all. Both able to get a hand in there. Punch the ball out. Again, you got the ball with 3 minutes left on the clock to end the half. You should have been able to run that out. You should have. Maybe don't have 15-yard losses because Justice Hill can't hang on to football. That's your job as a running back. Hang on to the football. Of course they're going to try to punch it out. Maybe put 2 hands on the football. Why do you not have 2 hands on the football? You really made him miss the tackle. You made Bosa miss the tackle, and you didn't need your arms for that. But he reaches in there with his arm somehow. His body is completely on the other side. It really looked like his body was completely on the other side of the field, almost. It's a little bit of an over-exaggeration. Just barely gets that fist in there. Barely gets the fist in there. And he still pops the ball up. What are you doing, dude? How do you not... You're practically past the dude. How do you not have two hands on the football? Because of course he's going to punch at it. You idiot. To a certain extent, I wasn't even sure why the hell Derrick Henry wasn't in there. I mean, he had a few runs, a 17-yard run, and then a 5-yard run, and then an incomplete pass, and then a timeout. Then another pass here, and then another timeout. Henry really needed that much of a break? Not that he had good ball security anyway. Both your top running backs dropped the ball. Come on, man. Like, how are you practicing? Isn't that one of the big things of practicing for a running back? Hanging on to the football? And that's what you did. You put it on the ground twice. Each running back did it once. Okay, Rasheen Ali. Keaton Mitchell didn't play this game at all. This is weird. I thought he would be good to go, but I guess not. But whatever. It's fine. And then what are you doing after this? You have to move the ball. Okay. All right. Fine. Where'd it go? It was 1st and 10. Okay, he punched the ball. So 2nd and 25. And then you get a 1-yard pass to Flowers. What? That's all you can get? And then Jackson over left tackle for no gain. What? They seem to like to try... Oh, what do I have? The jet sweeps and the end arounds for Flowers. I don't know why they really like those plays, but I don't think they worked well. They didn't work well at all. That's probably I think that's what this is. It's a little jet sweep thing, and you toss it to him and toss it right to him. It's more of a pass play, I guess, because it's forward. Whatever, man. I just did not see that getting much. Even when they did it a few times in the game. I guess the end around and the jet sweep is a little different. Because one is really a pass and another is really a run. But it didn't do much. Now, the drag plays, which is essentially the same thing, but on the other side of the line of scrimmage, a jet sweep or an end around, you're moving the wide receiver from one side of a field to another through the backfield instead of doing it 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. The drag plays seem to work. But those jet sweeps just didn't. Bills have a relatively good defensive front. Linebackers, defensive linemen. Where they were kind of lacking was in the secondary. So I'm not sure exactly why you didn't attack their secondary more. Huh. Oh, okay. Yeah. Attack them at their strongest point. Don't attack them at their weakest point. Attack them at their strongest point. Yeah, that's smart. About as smart as... What play was it? It was in the first quarter. Lamar Jackson and the kind of stupid shit that he does. Oh, I don't remember which play this was here. It was close to around here. Was it where he was sacked? Takes his right hand off the ball. So he's holding the ball with his left hand to stiff arm a defender. You're in the pocket. You're a right-handed quarterback. Why would you ever take your right hand off the ball? I'm confused there. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, is it me or is that just a play made by a dumbass? Okay. That was rude and hurtful. You're probably correct. But is it true? Okay, I mean, sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes it just hurts. What else have we got? Hill's bad ball security. Yeah. That really led to the Bills' field goal at the end of the half. To a certain extent, the defense, I don't know what the fuck they were doing either. I mean... They needed, 40 yards? You're guarding a sideline. How does he get over there and catch it? And at the same time, the clock hit 0, and then they replay, and it's like magically there's 1 second left on the clock. Sure. I believe that. I don't believe that at all. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it at all. Because how many times will you see a play clock ticking down, and then hit 0, and a referee has to look at the game clock, and then look at the ball, and then blow the whistle? Why is it not the same here? But I mean, it's fine. Because you're the NFL and you want the rules to help the offense. Which makes sense. At the same time, that only adds to the argument, why the fuck are you putting your defense on the field so much in the fourth quarter? To end halves, to end the game. Why are you putting your defense on the field so much? Oh, it's the defense's fault they lost the game. Okay. You can think that. You can think that. But the NFL and teams, they put a lot in the offense. Why wouldn't you put the offense on the field? Defense, you don't possess the ball. You're not in as much control as you really think. The offense is in control. So why don't you control the clock and put the defense on the field less? And earn your money. Okay. That's fine. Do whatever. Do whatever. Talk about the last 3 drives here. This is the fourth quarter. Yeah, coming down to it, a lot of possession changes. Each team, oh no, that's not true. The Bills had what? 5? The Bills had 5 drives. The Ravens had 4. Well, the Bills started the quarter with the ball. Or, at least according to this. That's a lot of drives for a quarter. That's a lot for a fourth quarter. And especially where one team is winning by, at the start, wasn't it 15? And then touchdown by the Bills, or Ravens counter with another touchdown. So it's 15. And by that time, almost 5 minutes comes off the clock. 10 minutes left. You're still winning by 15 points. And then after that, again, you forced a punt for Buffalo Bills. You forced the Bills to punt. So what are you about? 7.5 minutes? How the hell did you give them the ball back 3 more times with 7 minutes left on the clock? How dare any of you say it was the defense's fault? How dare you? It's offense's fault. 7.5 minutes left on the clock. You gave the Bills ball back 3 times without putting a single fucking point on the board. Punt, fumble, punt. Yeah. It's the defense's fault. You kidding me, right? This was for the better of the 3 drives where the Ravens ran 5 plays. One of those plays being the punt. 3-yard run by Derrick Henry. -1 yard run by Derrick Henry. Then Wallace falls starting because he can't get on a line of scrimmage correctly, and then tries to push his foot up 1 more inch. And then gets flagged for it. Figures. Ugh. And then Zay Flowers over the middle. That was the play where he went in motion and tried to go up the field at the end. Which, I guess that's a penalty. I didn't know that was a penalty. I didn't know that a man in motion couldn't turn up the field a little bit at the end. I didn't. I really didn't. But I guess you'd learn something new every day. Again, you did this. You were like, we're going to run it with Derrick Henry 2 times in a row right up the middle. Yeah, that worked out real nicely. I wonder why. Maybe it's because the defense figured that that's what you were going to do. Sometimes you have to think about what your opponent is thinking, right? You put yourself in your opponent's shoes. All right, I'm the Bills defense here. If I'm the Ravens, what am I trying to do? Run Derrick Henry up the middle, because what else are you going to do? Run Lamar Jackson on the outside. No, they want to get Derrick Henry going. Okay. And you... And again, that's where the strength of the Bills defense is, up the middle. I don't understand why you're running at it when you don't have to. You could throw at it. I feel like there really wasn't that much play action passing going on. It really didn't feel like there was enough. Maybe because I feel like there wasn't enough positive plays in the fourth quarter for the Baltimore Ravens. That's probably has something to do with it. Where the hell are the good plays in the fourth quarter for the Ravens? Nowhere to be fucking found. Okay, they got that touchdown early in the fourth quarter. But again, with 10 minutes or even 7.5 minutes left in the game, where are all the good plays by the Ravens offense? Nowhere. You got a 3-yard run. You got a -1 yard run. You got a false start. You got an illegal formation or illegal motion. The hell? And then, in 3 plays, one of them being a kick. Okay, you were able to move the ball for 13 yards, 1 play. You ran 50 seconds off the clock. Again, you put the defense right back on the field. Now, there's not a whole lot you can do about this except 2 hands on the football. I mean, that's about it. You put 2 hands on the football. Or you know what, maybe don't telegraph your play. Again, okay, I understand they used the new fullback, or he's a tight end, number 84, to replace Ricard. And that hurts not having Ricard. But at the same time, you got one wide receiver on the field, and I'm just thinking, why? Why? You got to spread the defense out a little bit. You collapse the line. You essentially make the strong point of the Buffalo Bills, their defensive front, you make that bigger and make the holes smaller. Why? You don't put it in their minds at all that you could throw this ball. Bateman, Flowers, not on the field. Hopkins, not on the field. It was Wallace. That was the only wide receiver on the field. And he was relatively close to the line of scrimmage. Or relatively close to the formation. It's like, why? Why? What are you thinking there? Of course, they're thinking, oh, no wide receivers on the field. Or whoever the wide receiver was. I don't remember who that wide receiver was. I thought it was Wallace. Be honest, I didn't get that much good look at him because I wasn't paying up attention because it's holy shit, there's the ball that's on the ground. So, my bad if I got that messed up. But again, no Bateman, no Flowers. What? If neither one of them are on the field, what do you think the defense is thinking? So I don't know what. I just don't agree with the play call. I really just don't agree with the play call. And this is running a little longer than I want. Yeah. Okay. And then here, your last possession of the game, you're only able to run 32 seconds off the clock. And somehow you ran 8 plays, which is weird. Well, there was a lot of timeouts. Henry to the left for 1 yard. Then Flowers end around, no gain. There you go with this end around shit. I don't like them. I guess. Look, I feel they have worked at some times for some teams. I don't really like them. I just don't. I feel like when you need to move the ball because you're ahead, that's not the time to run an end around, I feel like, because again, the box is going to be stacked. They're going to be able to seal the edge. Or at least have a better chance to. Maybe, honestly, if Mark Andrews puts up a better fight blocking Milano there, because I don't think Andrews touched him at all, which is weird. It's almost like Mark Andrews didn't realize that it was going to be a run play right behind him, because he didn't really block. He did block one guy, then Milano comes through, and Andrews just kind of stands there and looks at him. So that was odd looking. And then DeAndre Hopkins, for all the veteran status he has, if you're not going to go for it on fourth down, why the hell are you throwing the ball 4 yards short of the first down marker? Why is the receiver not getting to the first down mark? What's the point in that? Again, if you're not going to go for it on fourth down. I actually agreed with Chris Collinsworth on that. I mean, look, okay, should have had better decision making, should have had better execution beforehand. But it's 4th and 3. You put your defense on the field a lot. The likelihood that they're going to be able to stop the Bills to a point where they're not going to be able to kick a field goal seems very unlikely. It seemed the way the game was going, the way momentum had shifted, it seemed like it was going to be very hard for you to do anything to the Bills' offense. So why not go for it? What's the worst that happens? Okay, you give the Bills the ball back already in field goal range. Fine. Let them score. You still have your full complement of timeouts, and then what? Depends on when you get the ball back. Maybe a minute? Who knows? Maybe 45 seconds. Or... because here, I mean, the Bills moved. They were able to move it. They had 1:26 seconds left. Again, go for it. You could call timeouts. Stop the clock. The Bills aren't going to get first downs, or, given where they were on the field, where actually were they on the field? Where would they have been on the field? Baltimore 38. Well, that's not really field goal range. I mean, that would be 55-yard field goal. I don't know that that's really even field goal range. It's close. It's close. Very close. I don't get why they didn't go for it on fourth down. Put the ball in Lamar Jackson's hand. Hey, what? That's why you gave him the kind of money you gave him to do his thing in moments like this. And either you don't give him the ball or they screw up. Yeah. Alright, enough of this shit. Talking about this shit-ass game and this shit-ass team blowing a double-digit lead again. Again. It's really aggravating that they did it again. It really is. Whatever. We got to get past this and move on to next week. Next week, Browns, Sunday, football, normal times, 1 o'clock. All right, so Saturday for the next show. So that is going to do it for this edition of Ryno's Ravens Review. Please stay tuned for a Ryno's Ravens preview, and I'll preview the game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Ryno. Dive in, Ravens.